It was the year when Prince Harry returned to Afghanistan to serve with his British Army unit. Before that, he had what some people called his coming-of-age tour, a week-long trip to the Caribbean to celebrate Queen Elizabeth's Diamond Jubilee. His tour ended in Brazil, where the prince sat down with Seth Doane to talk about the trip, his charitable work, and his famous family.
On these sprawling polo grounds in the lush Brazilian countryside, we had the rare opportunity to sit down with a prince.
Prince Harry, I'm Seth Doane with CBS News. Thanks for chatting with us.
The royal family seldom grants one-on-ones, so every moment was precious.
Let's talk a bit about this week. We've been along.
He just reached the end of his 10-day four-nation tour and was eager to discuss his charitable work with children in the African nation of Lesotho.
Let's start with what brought you here to the countryside in Brazil to play polo for your charity, Centabale. What has made you so passionate about this group of kids in this remote part of Africa?
I think going back, trying to think back to how it all started, it was a simple case of I went traveling for about 8 weeks. I asked to go to a country that, you know, basically Lesotho was the one for my visit. And I went there, and after 8 weeks of seeing the kids, seeing the people, seeing the country, and just seeing the problem as such, and getting so attached with it, once I finished that and came back, decided that, you know, something had to be done.
In 2006, Prince Harry founded Centabale, an organization to help vulnerable children in this African nation of 2 million. Working along with his counterpart there, Prince Seeiso, Centabale has raised $11 million so far.
When you co-founded this charity, you dedicated it in part to your mother, Princess Diana. Have you thought about her on this trip?
I haven't necessarily had time to think about her in my own personal moments of reflection of specific places, then yes. But, you know, Centabale means forget me not, also for the simple case of, you know, not forgetting the children, and also, you know, not forgetting our mothers, who both Prince Seeiso and I lost at a fairly young age.
It's clear what these kids get from having you affiliated with them, but what do you get from them?
I get a huge buzz from spending time with kids, not just the kids in Lesotho, but kids in general. You know, obviously, me being me, hopefully has brought, you know, a certain amount of attention to a country that needs attention. But yeah, I mean, every time I spend time with the kids, it's fantastic. You get this buzz. I'm still very much a kid inside myself, and spending time with them keeps me grounded as such.
I suppose it's nice to be out of the spotlight in some ways.
Yeah, it is. And as far as they're concerned, they haven't got a clue who I am. They just think I'm, you know, a tall white guy who they can hang off and I can throw them around.
We watched those throngs of people waiting just to see you, to catch a glimpse. What is that like from the inside? Everyone seems to have this fascination with royalty. Does it live up to the fairy tale?
No, not at all. As any girl will ever tell you, it's a sort of, oh my God, he's a prince, but no. The job that it entails. I mean, look at me. I'm 27 years old, and not so much searching for someone to fulfill the role, but obviously, you know, finding someone that would be willing to take it on. But yeah, it has been slightly strange, this trip especially, because as the fact that I'd be representing my grandmother, yeah, people go crazy for royalty, people go crazy for David Beckham. The Commonwealth countries, fine, I can understand that, the hype, but the warmth of reception was beyond anything I've ever expect.
In the Commonwealth nations of Belize, the Bahamas, and Jamaica, the prince brought a message of goodwill from the Queen, the ceremonial head of state in these countries.
Her Majesty has asked me to extend her great good wishes to you all, and is sorry that she can't be here, so you're stuck with me. But don't worry, because every little thing's going to be all right.
May I just ask you about your grandmother? This was a very public way of making a tribute to her. You spoke glowingly of your grandmother through the last 10 days. Do you have private ways planned that you'll honor her as well for the 60th Jubilee?
I don't personally yet. I mean, I've been away. When I get back, I'm sure ideas will start flowing. Us as a group of grandchildren will hopefully be able to have a dinner and do something fun with her. Maybe take her out on the town. I don't know. But,
does
yeah,
the Queen go out on the town?
I don't know. I don't know. Does yours? No, you know, she's a fantastic woman, not only as a grandmother but as a queen, and as everybody knows. And you know, me being asked to do these countries and kick off the the Jubilee tour was an honour, and I never expected the reception, as I said, that we've been given in all these countries, and it just shows that, you know, despite the fact that she's only visited some of these countries 2 or 3 times, the impact that she has on these Commonwealth countries from so far away is quite astonishing, and it did choke me up a little bit every now and then, because it was, you know, yeah, because to me she's just granny, but to all these countries she's the queen, and she's, you know, this great thing that they respect and love. So yeah, it's been an emotional tour, but great fun.
Throughout his journey, the cameras remained focused on the prince, as they did at this children's hospital in Jamaica. We watched and wondered if it's difficult to connect with these kids, while flashing lights follow his every move.
Believe me, I spend so much time with the kids with cameras there.
Do you just tune it out?
No, you try and tune, you can never tune it out. And I am unfortunately a little bit more observant than most, so I always notice them. But when the cameras leave is when I actually get time to enjoy the kids.
Is it tough with all the cameras around all the time?
Yeah, it's always tough. But you know, lots of people can probably block them out, but I can't. I think it's probably because of my military background and training. I always know what's going on around me. I know who's where. I can recognise the faces.
That military training was on display during his tour, as he piloted a helicopter to Montego Bay in Jamaica and took aim at this firing range. The prince spent 77 days on the front lines in Afghanistan in 2007 to 2008, until his position was disclosed by media, making him too much of a target to stay.
You said you want to go back to Afghanistan. You clearly do not have to do that. Why would you go back? Do you think it's important for the Afghan people, the British people, the Queen?
If it was a pain for anyone for me to go, which I appreciate it probably is, but you know, at the end of the day, I've done my training. It's cost the army money to train me, and if they didn't think that they could get me out there again, then they wouldn't have put me through this training. It's as simple as that.
You know, that seemed like a real conversation, didn't it?
It really did. I just love everything about him, because he seems to have such a great sense of humor that you don't see often in many of the royals, because they're so serious. But there's something about him that's so likable.
I agree. He's not as sort of serious and buttoned up. He seems, and we know it was a tough year for him, not only because serving in Afghanistan, but then caught sort of with with his pants down.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
I was going to say, finish that sentence.
Yeah, I know.
And she did well.
I know, it started
Very
to come
well.
out of my mouth, but unfortunately, he was, you know, in Las
Yes.
Vegas, and someone took some pictures of him while he was partying.
And he got through that.